Lakes are extensive bodies of water, typically fresh water stored in depressions surrounded by land. They form from rainwater, springs, rivers flowing into these depressions, as well as ancient seas, glacier melting, and volcanic activities. The seemingly serene nature of lakes appears as an inviting prospect for a peaceful swim. However, like any aquatic biome, they should be approached with utmost respect and caution. This is because there are various hidden risks within these seemingly calm waters. Undercurrents, submerged branches, whirlpools, and even aquatic life can pose a serious threat to humans. What appears harmless on the surface may conceal deadly secrets in the depths. In Morne-Trois-Pitons National Park on the Caribbean island of Dominica, located 10.5 kilometers east of the capital Roseau, tourists and local guides venture daily to encounter the world's second-largest boiling lake, known as Boiling Lake. To reach the eye of this scalding cauldron, adventurers must be determined to experience this unique encounter with nature. The challenging hike traverses various terrains of dense vegetation, rocky slopes, and volcanic activity areas, shrouded in white mist and hot vapors emanating from the earth. The demanding journey covers a path marked by 5,000 steps that extend over the 10-kilometer round trip, taking about 6 to 8 hours to complete safely. The strenuous trail begins with the ascent of Morne Nichols, a 3,168-foot high mountain that hides on the other side a breathtaking yet perilous view known as the Valley of Desolation. The uninviting name announces a truly risky and rugged setting, with wet and slippery steps leading to a bubbling pool of white smoke, resembling a boiling kettle. All this effort is rewarded only by appreciating the landscape, as swimming here is not an option. The water temperature in the lake hovers around 197 degrees Celsius or 386 Fahrenheit. Considering that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees, the lake is literally boiling 24 hours a day. Unlike other volcanic lakes formed by the emission of hot gases, the waters of Boiling Lake come into direct contact with the Earth's magma. This is because the lake is situated in what was once a volcano's crater. Scientists suggest that the original structure underwent a catastrophic event, causing the collapse of the land and forming the depression. Rainwater collected in the location, forming the lake, which exists in a constant battle between water and the scalding fluids from the Earth's magma. This gigantic, bubbling pool, 80 meters wide and over 20 meters deep, is the result of a fantastic geothermal phenomenon. The magma beneath the Earth penetrates the waters through fractures and faults in the Earth's crust. Thus, the lake is constantly replenished by heated underground sources, reaching boiling point and remaining in perpetual turmoil. Boiling Lake is a unique opportunity to explore the rich diversity and volcanic heritage of Dominica. The nation is part of the Lesser Antilles in the Eastern Caribbean and is located in the heart of Morne-Trois-Pitons National Park, which is on the UNESCO World Heritage List. On the banks of the trail streams where the thermal waters from the volcano flow, guides provide volcanic clay that promises to hydrate and rejuvenate the skin, and it is sold on cruises for up to $20. Tourists cover their faces and arms with the clay and can then cleanse themselves in the jacuzzis and shallow pools of warm azure-colored water, rich in minerals. Despite the beauty of this exceptional scenery, visitors need to remain vigilant to the imminent risks of the location. A tour guide had an accident in the boiling waters while trying to retrieve his fallen camera on the lake's edge. Fortunately, there was a nearby ledge where he could lie down and wait for rescue after 5 hours of pain and fear. Miraculously, the tour guide survived the severe burns caused by the steaming waters of Boiling Lake. Passionate about the location, he continues to work on the trails, taking tourists to the eye of the volcano. During the journey, he seizes the opportunity to share his almost fatal story. In the depths of the Gulf of Mexico, there lies a deadly lake of extremely salty and toxic water that kills any creature daring to enter this perilous terrain. Not surprisingly, researchers have dubbed this lake the Jacuzzi of Despair. It's strange to imagine a lake within the ocean, but it's real. If you could dive into this lake at a depth of 3,300 feet or 1,000 meters, you would find at the ocean floor a kind of smoky white carpet that contrasts the environment sharply. This liquid curtain covers a dense hole 30 meters in diameter, where bizarre and super-resistant forms of life thrive. Other creatures like squids and octopuses attempting to cross over discover, in the worst possible way, the existence of a secret chamber of torture and suffering. In this lake, the water is not the same as the ocean. Salinity, toxicity, and even the color between the waters are quite distinct, making the division clearly visible to the naked eye. While the seawater has a greenish hue, the lake water has a thicker and more opaque shade. Just like water and oil, these waters do not mix. This is because the concentration of the Despair Lake is 5 times saltier than the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Additionally, sensors have identified an extremely high temperature for this depth. While the temperature at the bottom of the ocean is around 4 degrees or 39 degrees, the temperature of the lake reaches an incredible 19 degrees or 66 degrees, making the place a warm jacuzzi at the bottom of the ocean. The result is a murky and white layer that spreads across the Atlantic floor, dividing 2 distinct worlds in the same environment. This well-defined pit, surrounded by rocks, forms a large basin where oceanic bacteria, worm beds, and mussels live, somehow adapting to life in this extreme habitat, converting toxic gases into energy. Sometimes some eels venture into these isolated pools in search of food. Curious, they cross the line that separates the 2 universes. But it only takes a few seconds for the eel to realize the fatal mistake. Inevitably, its body goes into shock. Intoxicated, the animal writhes in pain and knows it needs to get out as quickly as possible. In this case, pain becomes a lesson. It's unlikely that this eel will enter the lake again. Other animals are not as fortunate to survive this deadly encounter. The lake is filled with the carcasses of fish crabs and amphipods that agonize to death. According to biologists from Temple University, who discovered the site in 2014, the submerged lake began to form millions of years ago, when ocean waters began to penetrate small cracks in the seafloor. In this process, the waters ended up mixing with saline formations on the seafloor. Added to this, methane and hydrogen sulfide gas eruptions trapped at the bottom of the ocean constantly push these salty waters upward. However, since this body of water is much denser than the ocean itself, these waters end up trapped at the bottom of the basin, forming a true brine pool. Thousands of years later, the result is this toxic lake that intrigues and attracts scientists from around the world. Since 2015, the famous ship EV Nautilus, led by Robert Ballard, a notable researcher known for finding the wreckage of the Titanic, has been exploring the Lake of Despair using the famous remote vehicle known as Hercules. In one of their expeditions, the team captured the moment when a fish entered this toxic universe. It's impossible to know if the fish was looking for food or was already sick. The fact is, it fell into the sulfuric trap, and within a few seconds, its behavior showed signs of alteration, swimming upside down. Unexpectedly, the fish regained its strength and managed to escape the lake. On that day, the sea was fish-friendly, and another miracle was witnessed in the Jacuzzi of Despair. Researchers study these saline lakes to better understand their behavior and the organisms that can survive in this controversial environment. Water samples, mapping, and data collection are systematically compared and analyzed. According to these scientists, the only certainty so far is that there is still much to be unraveled. It is not by chance that planet Earth is popularly known as the Blue Planet. 70% of its terrestrial surface is covered with water, and thanks to this abundance, life became possible and continues to evolve constantly. However, we need to remember that not all calm waters are safe in their depths. They are a kind of living testament to the wonderful and, at times, strange powers of nature. Dark secrets sleep at the bottom of lakes and can rise to the surface at any moment. Remember that the earth echoes at the bottom of lakes, always in search of new knowledge. If you enjoyed this content, write "dangerous lakes" in the comments and share your experience as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss the next dives. See you down there.